When Ron and Valerie's brand new RV failed, they were suddenly homeless.
We are now back in Minnesota, and we're living in the basement of my in-laws.
Welcome to the channel. I'm Liz. I get people the help they need when they're stuck in an RV nightmare. That help has included factory repairs, cash settlements, and a truckload of buybacks. None of this could have happened without you liking, subscribing, and sharing, making this channel the force that it is. Today, Ron and Valerie share what they learned and lessons every RV buyer should know after their dream RV turned into a nightmare.
This is our 6th RV, so we've been doing this a long time. We wanted this one to store our e-bikes and kayaks.
We researched this RV for at least a year. We chose this one because the dealership had just discounted it $10,000. We drove from Florida to Mississippi, also took $50,000 out of our savings account for this deal. Walked through it, we crunched some numbers, we thought, yep, this is the one, and so we made the deal.
It is a 2025 Forest River Toyhauler that we have purchased in April 2025. There were a couple of things that were wrong with it. There was a leaky hydraulic cylinder and there was a taillight that had been broken. They were going to fix that, and we made a time where we could come out with our trade-in so we could finish the deal.
We left Florida and drove all the way with our trade-in, got to Gulfport, Mississippi. Our camper was not ready for pickup. They couldn't fix the hydraulic leg. They received the wrong part. We had to stay at a campground an extra week or two because of this. They finally got it right after the 3rd try. They fixed the tail light and we were able to pick it up.
It was during the walkthrough that we found out there were more problems. The fireplace was not working. The Happy Jack bed and sofas that go up and down in toy haulers was not working. They thought it needed a new circuit board. The generator wasn't working. And now we're on kind of a time crunch. There were things that we could do without. We could come back in the fall and they could repair this. We signed the paperwork, took the trailer, and we stayed there for a week. In the meantime, we were finding more and more things wrong. We found cracked vent covers. There happened to be a big rain that night. The front bedroom slide leaked on both sides of the bed. One of the radios did not work. There was a cover on a light that was missing. We listed these. They sent the tech out. He replaced the fireplace. He tried the part in the Happy Jack beds that did not work. Talked to the tech about the problems. He said, let's start over and go through the RV from front to back and document all the problems. We started going through them. He was taking pictures, documenting all the problems. That was when we discovered why the radio wasn't working. One of the amplifiers was completely missing. There were cuts in the underbelly that were patched with tape, at least 10. And I'm going, somebody was looking for a leak of some sort. Nobody knows anything about it.
He had 4 pages of documentation, things that were missing, broken, needed to be looked at.
We head to North Carolina for a wedding. We have family staying with us. We knew we didn't have the Happy Jack beds to use, so we had to buy a air mattress for them to stay on for the weekend.
One of the nights, I was using the air fryer for like 20 minutes. We're sitting on the couch, eating our dinner. The cooling fan on the microwave was on. 40 minutes later, it was still on. The only way I could get it to shut off was to unplug the microwave. We head back to Minnesota where we stay in our RV for the summer.
Within a day or two, I noticed a leak coming out of the underbelly. A hose was not tightened from one tank to the other. Once I repaired that, I replaced the underbelly, which they should have done to begin with.
Later in the summer, I was home. I heard this grinding noise underneath the steps. It was kind of coming out of the cargo area.
Quick pause, because what's happening to Valerie and Ron is exactly what I'm trying to help you avoid. You want to take your time, do your research, and get an independent RV inspection. I put together a complete RV buyer's guide so you know which RVs to buy and which ones to stay far away from. It's written using insights from my audience of over 200,000 people, plus real cases I've actually worked on. The guide covers over 200 brands broken down by specific years and models. So you're not just picking a brand, you're picking the right version of that RV. Because as you're seeing on this channel, one bad choice can lead to a very expensive nightmare. If you're shopping for an RV or just thinking about it, this can save you time, money, and a whole lot of stress. The RV Buyer's Guide comes in both print and digital format, and right now the digital format is on sale for a limited time only for 25% off.
And it vibrated the floor. I didn't know what it was. The lights dimmed for a little bit. When Ron got home, I told him about it.
I opened it up, looked at it. I didn't see anything physically wrong. We kind of write it off as a glitch. Okay, let's see what happens going forward.
A few nights after that, the power went out. We do have a watchdog on our trailer. There was no error messages at the time. It reset itself. We got to County Line Camper at the end of October. They had our RV for a week and a half. At that time, we had to remove items out of the garage so they had room to work. We had to stay in an Airbnb so they could work on it.
There were some things that still didn't get repaired.
They replaced the microwave, fixed the Happy Jack bed, put the awning cover back on, replaced the skylights that were cracked, couldn't figure out the leaking slide out in the bedroom, the grinding. They were trying to recreate that problem. There was a lot of gaps in the sliding door on the back patio. Doors were crooked. This is supposed to be a screen door so that you can enjoy the back garage area with the doors closed, and that never got fixed.
We proceeded to South Carolina about day 3. It was late at night, and we got an alarm on our control panel, and I went to look at it, and it said low battery. We're plugged in. We have solar. Should have been charging through the day. Turned everything off, ran just lights. Come morning, I noticed that it was charging again. I'm going, okay, maybe we have this resolved. In the middle of the night, we got that alarm again.
We were in contact with Nikki in Mississippi. She said to take it in to an authorized dealer. Campers Inn had our camper in South Carolina for 3 weeks. They were not able to resolve the issue. We ended up leaving South Carolina early, canceling our plans, and we brought our camper back to where we bought it in Gulfport, Mississippi.
They found out that there were a lot of electrical problems. They replaced the shore power plug. They replaced the transfer switch. Couldn't figure things out. That's when they got in touch with Forest River and Future Sales. They were the sellers of the inverters. They changed the settings, replaced the batteries. We left for a short period, instantly had power outages, brought it back. The batteries were already bad. They decided to put in lead acid batteries. We took it then. We still had 2 power outages in that next week. And that's when we got in touch with Forest River and they said, bring it back to the factory.
They would transport our camper back to Elkhart, Indiana. At this time, we were just so spent, had been in and out of our camper so many times. We asked for a buyback and he said, I know we can fix it. We have all the technicians up here who designed this camper. Please give us that chance. And we're just like, okay. We gave it to them April 30th of 2026. I had to reach out to Kyle. He would say, I don't have any updates until the work is fully completed. He says, I do know that they did put back in the lithium batteries. Now everything worked fine, he said. They were also working on the back patio doors and some of the other items on our list. The last I heard from Kyle was on May 28th. He said that he doesn't have any more updates other than what he had already previously told me. He was going to go on vacation for a week. I haven't heard anything since. We're basically homeless. We have nowhere to go other than spending more money at a hotel or an Airbnb. We are now back in Minnesota and we're living in the basement of my in-laws out of the big hearts that they have. It's just been horrible. It's been a huge expense and it's a lot of anxiety, a lot of sleepless nights.
We paid over $100,000 for this Toyhauler. We've been camping or RVing our whole lives together. We love the RV life. We love camping. But this last winter soured us so badly. If I were to do it all over again, we would have absolutely refused this at the start. I mean, we just figured the things that were wrong were just replacement parts. We should have refused this from the start.
We have been without our RV since April 30th when they picked it up and brought it back to the factory, and we have not heard anything from Forest River since May 28th. It has been one thing after another, and we just want our money back. We just want a buyback.
I reached out to the selling dealer, County Line Campers, and I received probably the nicest letter I've ever received from a dealer. Ron and Val are right to be frustrated. They've been without their camper for far too long, and no family should have to put their travel plans on hold like this. When we received your email, we immediately reached out to senior leadership at Forest River and East to West to learn that the work was finished. A simple status update should never require that level of escalation. Whether a buyback is approved is a decision that rests solely with Forest River. What we can do and have done is advocate directly with the manufacturer at the highest levels on the customer's behalf and push for a resolution that makes them whole. So I thought that was an exceptional letter. I'll put the whole thing on the screen so you can read it. Let me know in the comments what you think of the dealer's letter. And of course, I did reach out to Forest River. They responded, as you know, by telling Valerie and Ron that now the RV is ready, the repairs are done. But Valerie and Ron are done with it. They don't trust it. They feel like they've been through so much. They just don't want it. But at this time, it does not seem like Forest River is open to a buyback. What do you think Forest River should do? Let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.